What's up, everybody? Zoe Azubuki here, my co-host Jay Azubuki, and we've got the man himself,
Yes, sir.
Tom Ahles. We're so excited to have you, Tom. What's up, man? How you doing?
Oh man, glad to be on with you two. Too. I like what you're doing. As soon as you asked me, I was excited to be a part of it. I've been kind of watching from the outside, and then a lot of us in this industry don't always want to share what's working for us with the next person because they have a mindset of a lack of abundance, right? And I know this both you. Zoe and Jay, both of you come from a mindset of abundance. So I like that, right? I'm always, as you know me, I want to help people. I want to see people grow. I want to see people do good things. And you guys have been doing that. So I was glad to be asked to be a part of what you've been creating here, not only helping, obviously helping yourself, but helping those all around you, right? I mean, that's what it's about. So I've seen a lot of things. I've had some of the agents that you've had on. I've learned some things. It's been really good content, and excited to sit and rap with you guys for a little bit and talk about, what's worked for me. And, hopefully we can add a little nugget for somebody out there and help them get to that next step.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
For sure.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, appreciate it, man. Yeah, we're excited to have you. And I love it. We've already got someone commenting. It just says Facebook user, but they just said the stash.
I know, right?
That's all we get. It's just a stash.
It's all part of
you got that going, man. You're sporting it. You're sporting
branding.
It.
I told you, man. You might think you have Dr. Phil on the episode today, but it's been man. Today's the last day for it. So 30 days strong. I think this. Truthfully, it ties into, in my opinion, the success that I've had in our business is doing things like this, right? I mean, I don't like it, but you know what? It's something social. I'm doing it to it's a charity called Dynamites. It's given back to kids that, haven't had some of the same opportunities, especially with the pandemic that happened. There's a lot of people that need help, right? And we're fortunate enough. And I know both of you, I see a lot of the service work you're doing. To me, it's something, if I can give back by looking like a clown for 30 days, my ego isn't that big that I'm still, I got to be honest with you, it's a little big because I'm like, man, I wonder if you have these different apps that will change your appearance. Like, can I get rid of this? I really want to. But it's part of it, being social and givers gain, right? You're gonna hear me say that a lot today. I'm a big believer in it, right? It's a motto for a BNI group. I do BNI. I like it. It's a big part of my business. But that model is something that I live by as well. Givers gain, right? I think if I give freely to others, the world has a way of paying me back, right? Regardless of
mentality. It's a great mentality. Yeah, man, I'm going to try to introduce you with just some numbers here. I mean, we're a bunch of loan officers right here, and so we like numbers. So might as well just talk some numbers and maybe try to introduce you, and then we'll have you kind of share a little bit about your background and kind of how you got into the business. But and humbly correct me if I'm wrong here, Tom, but you did over 430 units last year, and you're a top 1%er in the nation as far as loan origination. And then are you on track to surpass that 430?
Oh yeah, we got to keep growing, right? Got to keep growing. So
you're on track to pass that for 2021. So I mean, it's crazy. Your quarterly numbers is like my yearly goal. and you're just crushing it like on a whole nother, I mean, crushing it doesn't even really call it, doesn't really say it justice. Like it's just beast mode on another level. So we're excited to talk with you and hear just kind of the secrets of success for you. But yeah, kind of start us off from the very beginning. What got you into the business? How did you kind of start that off? And tell us a little bit about your early beginning journey.
Absolutely. So, I've been a broker for the majority of my career. I had a small stint where, I did some time at a local bank. But like you said, I'll kick it off from the beginning. I live in Minnesota right now. So when we talk about units and volume and production, luckily, if on the mortgage broker side, I've been the #1 broker in the state now for 2 years in a row, at least with UWM. UWM tracks the majority of it. They got 90% of the business. I view it as pretty accurate. There are obviously some retail loan officers that their numbers may vary, but Minnesota's my where I live. I moved here initially in 2001. I used to be in nightclubs, right? I used to run nightclubs and traveled all around the country doing that. I liked it. It was fun. But I got to the point where I got sick of staying in hotels and living in that lifestyle. And I saw the other people that were coming into the bar, spend a lot of money, were in the mortgage or real estate industry. And there was two things that I observed. A, they had a lot of money. And B, a lot of them weren't that smart, right? I was like, there's no way that this guy is having this much money. Like, what is he doing? You know? So I always kind of had an entrepreneurial mindset from a young man, from whether it was, you know, like you see kids doing now, going out mowing lawns, or I grew up in Ohio where, you know, I was shoveling horse stalls at 12 years old. I worked at a restaurant and was a dishwasher at 14, to where I've been working my whole life because I've wanted to, right? I've enjoyed I call it the hustle. I mean, I've enjoyed the hustle of working, right? I don't, met with my financial advisor even recently. He's like, so when's your plan for retirement? Well, it's kind of a cliche, but they say you have a job that you love, you're not working, right? I mean, to me, I don't wake up and go to work. I wake up, I get to help people. I get to be a part of their lives and something that really brings me joy, which is why from the day that we, you know, founded Edge, I've been on the front lines, right? I haven't stepped back. I initially was one of the owners of the company, and that got to be, as we've grown and Edge has gotten to the point where it's at now, my role, I want to be the same. I like originating and helping people. And you see how hard, you know, some of the other, you know, Chris and tell a lot of people with Edge work. I don't necessarily want to do that kind of work, right? I like seeing the direct results of gratification, right? I like gratification. That would be the truth. I like seeing when I have a client, you know, send me a message after helping them get into a home after they were denied with somebody else. You know, that's what keeps me going, right? It's not, we talk about success and great. Yeah, it's awesome. Crushing it from a numbers perspective this year. Get to 50 units a month, want to get to 100 units a month. Money comes along with it, but it's past that point, right? I don't, my driving factor is that I'm trying to make more money. I want to help more people, right? So it's been a big, I would say, flip for me that happened once I got to that point where I was stuck at 5 units, 6 units. How did I get past that point in my career? A lot of it was that mindset as I stopped chasing money and I really started putting my efforts into being genuine. Like, I want to help somebody. If I can help you, I'd like to help you. The only thing that I have, because as you know, whether you're a banker or a broker, the vault is not in our office, right? I'm in from my home office today. My wife has a little salon in here that she does hair. And I mean, there's no vault for me to go get the money. I'm not making the decision, and bankers aren't either, right? Our job is to be good advisors and to be good stewards to our customers' finances. So to back up a little, because I'll bounce around a little bit. That's just how I am. I was in the nightclub industry, came to Minnesota, got into mortgages, worked for a company called Nova Star, and it was a lead operation, right? I got a desk. A lot of the guys that were sitting next to me are with us still today that I started with. Fred Rogers, one of our processors, Jake Kornberg, a lot of these guys that came in right when I started that helped me are still with us today, originating with Edge Home Finance. But it was chasing leads, right? I got good at it. I got good on selling on the phone. I got good on the follow-up. I put a decent system into place and then opened up my own company shortly after that with another gentleman, and we ran a lead shop is what I would call it, right? We're sending out mailers. We have a call center, and it's a transactional based business to where did good. But then all of a sudden 2007, 2008 came and the faucet was shut off, right? So now I'm at a point to where it's like, I didn't even know we weren't doing FHA loans before 2007. You know, I think maybe we had 2 or 3% of the market, if I'm not mistaken, on how many loans were being done FHA. A lot of it then went to FHA loans. So I took a short break, got out for about 8 months. We're back to doing nightclubs. Couldn't stand that anymore, right? It was like I'm grown now. It was a lot more fun when I was just 21, and I enjoyed it a lot more than trying to.
That's what they call young people stuff.
That's what I mean. You try to be a married man and try to live in that lifestyle. It doesn't go well. So got back on the horse of the mortgages. I went to on the East Coast and worked for a company called the Money Store, and they're still around. Good company. I saw a lot of the backsides of the banking world. I was still on the front side selling. Then I moved from there back to Minnesota. Same thing. I went to work for a bank locally. It was Waterstone Bank. I don't like keeping. You can look everything up online, anyways. But I worked for a bank called Waterstone Bank, and they were a purchase-driven bank, right? They focused primarily. You have some really good loan officers that work there, still work there, but they were all on the purchase side of things. At this point, when you come in as a refinance LO that's based off of just chasing leads, there's a big difference when you watch these guys, like their phones are ringing. And hey, my client's looking to get pre-approved for this house. And I'm like, I'm doing it wrong, right? Like if I'm chasing leads like that, to me, I have a job and not a career, right? And I really wanted to I liked what I was doing, but I needed to find a way to make it a career. So at that point, I changed how I was doing business, right? I stopped spending money on leads for refinances. I spent a little bit of money on leads for purchases because I wanted to have something to share, right? I wanted to be able to go to this new agent, and instead of the same thing, I've got low rates and fees and all, kind of the same jargon everybody has, right? We're all playing with the same 52 cards. If you're a lender, we're all doing the same thing, right? You might have a little better pricing one day than I do, but it doesn't make a difference. We're all playing the same game. I wanted to try to differentiate myself from the beginning. So I started a little bit with just buying and cultivating leads, since I had a background in that, to then try to give to agents, right? That worked really well until I got past 2 or 3 agents. At that point, I'm right back to doing what I was doing. I'm working leads again, and then like I was doing it to try to give something, but that's not the normal progression of business, right? And a normal, I'll say, ecosystem for us, people call the realtor to buy a house. That realtor then should refer them to the loan officer that's going to uphold their reputation, do a great job, provide excellent communication, service, everything, to where they're referring you because of who you are and how well of a job you do, right? So once I got to that point and realizing my value proposition, I needed to change it again, right? I got to the point to where I'm going to be stuck to where I can only provide so many leads to a real. It's like literally you calling your homeowner's insurance agent and asking them for a lead, right? My homeowner's insurance agent, I send the guy probably 10, 15 leads a week, but I'm not asking him to send me business because they're not calling him and asking him to buy a house or refinance, right? So I had to then look at that and say, truthfully, what is my value proposition, right? What separates me from Zoe, from Jay? What makes us different, right? I mean, it's similar to almost like dating, right? What makes somebody want to date you compared to, is it because, they don't like my mustache? Okay, well, I'll shave it. They don't like, it really comes down to understanding what your value proposition. For me, my value proposition was in the beginning, and still is, I answer my phone, right? If you need something, I'm not working the 9 to 5. I care about helping you. So if you call me at 8 o'clock on a Saturday night and you have a pre-approval that needs done, I'm going to do it. And if even now, as it's getting where I've grown and I've got some team members, I've got Howard, Craig, I've got a fair amount of guys that work with me, to where still I've maintained that same value proposition. Availability. I think it's a big one, especially knowing how tight the market is. The banker guys, and I'm not saying it for all of them, but the cookie cutter bank guys that are selling CDs and car loans and boat loans and credit cards, they're not answering their phone on a Saturday because they're not getting paid to do it, right? They're get paid to work between 9 and 5, and they might get a 3 basis point bonus on every file. It's not enough to really make them provide that level of service. So my value proposition changed, right? Changed to availability. What else could I do, right? I was at this point, I was still at the bank, and then I started realizing my other value proposition that I wanted to be competitive. Right? I'm always competitive in everything I do. Is a reason why, we joke about it, but why I've been so glad that this company, why Edge, has continued to grow and add quality originators like you. I'm still looking at that monthly closing sheet. Almost, I'm competitive, right? I don't want to be knocked off. I want somebody to compete with me, and I want to see other people get there. But at the same time, I still want to do better. Okay, so I realized I wasn't really able to compete with flexibility like I could have in the broker channel. Right. I was at the bank, and then they have, you got one pricing sheet. And then if I needed a pricing exception, I'd have to go to the manager and then, hey, this client's with this. And then, well, it's relationship. You shouldn't need pricing incentives. And I'm like, well, we're selling money.
Yeah, I've heard that line before.
I mean, no matter what, right? I mean, no matter what it is, money shouldn't have friends. I want smart, educated people to work with. And there's one thing to where there's a little bit of a price of reliability, right? I always tell my clients, listen, if I screw up your transaction, as much as you're important to me, it's not your transaction that's the most important thing to me. You have to understand, I don't have billboards, or I don't do anything other than work off of a referral-based business. And the agent that trusted you to refer to me, I have his reputation at stake too. And you talk about a lifeblood of my business. Besides you, he sends me a deal every month. I got 12 closings a year from the agent that referred you to me. If I don't do an exceptional job, take 12 times whatever our commission is, that's what I lose over the rest of my life, right? So I try to be transparent with clients and say and explain another what's the word I want to look for?
Value.
Yeah, my value proposition. Thank you. I was drawing a blank there. I needed my value proposition to be strong to where I wasn't selling BS, right? I mean, let's be honest. I can't tell you how many times I was either solicited by companies or worked for companies that were selling rates at 500 to 800 basis points. And well, you need to focus on your relationships. I remember managers saying that to me, 15 years ago. I need to focus on my relationship. 12 years ago, I need to focus on my relationships. And I'm like, to lie to them, to tell them that, that truthfully, that they're paying more money because of the relationship. I want to have a relationship built off of trust and honesty, right? I tell clients all the time, there might be a better deal out there. Might be with Provident, it's not going to be fun. You're going to wish to pull your hair out. Here's why I choose not to send it to them. I have the ability, as you guys do too. We work together. We have 72 different banks we can send them to. Why do we send them to the majority of the same 7 to 10, right? Because people are not going to remember 3 years down the line that they saved $650. What they're going to remember is the experience that they had, the ease of the transaction, the communication, all of the things that are important other than price. I want to be able to compete with price, but I don't need to lead with it to where I'm looking at myself as some of the best price lenders that we can broker through. I choose not to broker through them because they make the process frustrating, right? They make it to where even as an originator, I want to pull my hair out, let alone the client. And I think, from a company, our last deal with them was my customer. This guy has, I think he had like $3 million in his investment account, 20 million in total assets with property. His house is free and clear, and they're doing a cash out refinance. And they say, I need you to show a successful history of investing your money, right? On a cash out refinance. And you got to have a letter, right? On a cash out refinance, you got to have a letter of intention because I want to make sure you're not buying another property and it's going to cause another debt. So I didn't even blink at the fact that the guy's letter of explanation was I'm using this money to invest, right? Then they come back with that. So, who does that fall on, right? To me, I try to take responsibility for everything because no one wants to work with somebody that passes the buck, right? Oh, well, sorry, my processor missed this. Oh, I'm sorry, you didn't do this from the beginning. To where I want accountability. One of the things that I think has built my business is accountability, right? If I screw something up, I'm taking responsibility. If something gets screwed up that's from beneath me, meaning it's something, as the client, do they have contact with the appraiser, the insurance agent, the title company? Everything on the loan is my responsibility. So, if somebody screws up when I'm herding these cats, so to speak, that's my job, right? I'm going to let them know from the beginning. And I see a lot of people lose not only trust with their clients, but even with their referral partners when you start blaming other people, right? So that's, again, I'm jumping all over the place. But to me, that's an important piece when we talk about, building a reputation, building a book of business. It's going to continue to bear fruit, right? Yeah. Each client is a seed, right? And you can only rush a seed so much because they're going to buy once every 5 years, 7 years. They may refer you 2 or 3 people a year if you're really good at it. But if you don't treat that seed right, it's going to die and has no fruit, right? Yeah. So to me, some of my key value propositions are still every week when I look at what am I doing to help not only my realtor partners, my clients, and those around me. I think that as we kind of stuck on, price is important to me, which is why I then switched from working at the bank to where I joined Chris and Chantel when they founded Edge back in 2011. That gave me the options, right? All of a sudden, I've got wholesale pricing with every bank that I'm competing with, right? Even in my local market, we've got different banks that I have options to sell their money on the wholesale side. It's wholesale. It's cheaper, right? I might not make, as we get paid, we get, let's say a lender paid compensation at 2% and the deal doesn't work and I have to drop it to 1%. I'm willing to do whatever I can to help my clients to get the deal done, right? Where before, I didn't have that option, right? I'm a little bit of a glorified banker. All that I do is mortgages, even when you work for some of these companies. But you got to then ask somebody for permission, to have a pricing exception. Then how do I have control over anything? We always hear, well, brokers don't have control. Well, I disagree with that, right? I'm still close 50 loans a month and on time, no issues, can talk to the underwriters, funds are there with no funding conditions. I can control the transaction and I have control, right? Gives me the ability to advise properly, right? Gives me the ability to advise and be reliable, to be trustworthy, right?
Yeah. That's awesome, Tom. I was going to jump kind of backwards. You said something earlier. You said you're almost completely referral based. And that blows my mind because, you are doing 50 units a month, right? And I think I've heard you say on another interview that you don't have like a ton of agents that you work with. You don't have like 200 agents sending you business. So how practically do you get to where you're doing that much business off of the number of agents that you have? Is it starting to become, a lot of past clients? And then how do you scale? So if you want to have a referral based business from the beginning, and if I'm just now starting out and I want to kind of go that route, not focus so much on leads, but focus on relationships, how do you scale that practically? How do you contact these agents consistently? How do you build those relationships to where you're doing this much business at this point?
Right. So, for me, there was something that I heard that, how every now and then you just hear something and it sticks to you. And I remember there was a guy that I was working with at that bank that I saw who was crushing it. And I'm like, boy, and same thing. I was asking him these questions because there's no manual on, there's tons of information on how to close loans. But that's really, I know some of the best loan officers in the world that don't have any business. Getting the business is more than 50% of their job, in my opinion. So to answer that question, what I did is I found something that said I needed to have 11 referral partners, right? And I wrote it on, I had a little whiteboard and I wrote out, do I have 11 referral partners, right? That truly consider me their first option, whether it's a financial advisor, whether it's a divorce attorney, whether it's a realtor. And I continued my marketing towards realtors, divorce attorneys, anybody. I would dedicate time to trying to build a referral partner. For me, how I did that, and I still do it today, because I try to just time block on Fridays at the end of every Friday, going into a weekend, as I know when realtors, for the most part, have the majority of their first contacts with clients, right? So what I like to do, I like to look at my either open house open house list that I can see, okay, I've got this many agents that are doing open houses by my neighborhood, and I can see their phone number, right? So I get on my phone and I make a quick video, right? Hey, Lisa, it's Tom with Edge Home Finance. Wanted to share with you that this weekend, if you have anybody that needs a pre-approval, we're available all weekend, right? You can talk to, and I always try to find somebody that I already know a little bit, meaning they work at a RE/MAX office. They work at a Keller Williams office. Just wanted to let you know why I reached out to you. I work with Jay at your office. He can tell you the kind of job that I do for my clients. But if you have anybody and you need a second look or a second opinion, I'm touching them. All right. Just a quick video. I think nowadays video does wonders compared to just sending an email. Because half the time, emails, as you guys know, man, I'm deleting half the stuff before I even read it, right? It's like I get one more email from a recruiter or something to where you have no idea. Same thing for realtors. You got loan officers pounding them all the time. Hey, what's your business? What's your business? Well, what are you doing, right? Are you showing the service that you're available to do, right? Are you educating them on, hey, there's a new change to this program? So I've tried to where when I set out and I have my board with the 11 that I need to accomplish, what am I doing to build that relationship, right? So to me, starting out as a new person, write it down. Who do you have as 11, right? If you don't have 11 and you only have one, and that one is Zoe, right? Say Zoe is a realtor and Jay, you're the mortgage guy, and Zoe is your number one realtor. He sends you business. Zoe doesn't work at a company by himself. Zoe works at Keller Williams, or he works at Coldwell, or he works at somewhere where he's got a lot of other people that they like to work with people that are good, because there's a lot of bad people in this industry, right? You set such a low bar of entry. You got 20 hours of education. What do you expect? You got a lot of guys that are chasing, like, man, I can make $100,000 a month off 20 hours of education. I'm in. And then it's like, you don't understand, our jobs are almost like an attorney, to where I spend probably half of my day fighting guidelines, looking at an underwriter, say, hey, here's why I made my decision. Here's why I gave this client a pre-approval letter. And here's the proof that I have of it. I don't give out pre-approval letters that don't close. I've built a reputation on that because I know what I'm doing, right? If you're calling Zoe, who you already closed deals with, and you look to see who else works at his office, I'm going to try to find somebody that's close to that circle that I can kind of piggyback off of that reputation on, right? I don't want to go out and just find some. I'm going to look at, Zillow and find the guy with the most reviews, and I'm going to call him, right? That's cold calling, and maybe it will work. I mean, no effort done is a wasted effort, but at the same time, there's ways to do things smart and spend your time to where you're going to yield results if you keep it up. And sometimes you're just spinning wheels. So for me, I always try to find my own circle, right? And work out from it. And I do the same today, right? I think it's important to me where I do not want to spend the majority of my time at my computer, right? As I told you, we got to wrap this meeting up today at 2:50, because at 3 o'clock, I'm out, right? I'm out doing stuff that's social, right? I'm going on a bike ride. It's not like I'm doing anything crazy, but I'm going on a bike ride with 20 some people, right? That are wearing cycling kits that have Edge Home Finance on it, right? So little subtle pieces to where being involved in community, being involved in those circles, right? I had a country club membership. Well, what do I do with it? I stopped playing golf almost since I started riding my bike. So I play 10 rounds a year. Every time I play, though, I look to see what events are coming up. Who do I want to meet and talk to? I haven't talked to. Oh, I got this guy's a commercial real estate agent, and this person, I'm intentionally setting my networking, having fun, but to be able to just meet and get to know people, right? Yeah. Half the time at those events, like today when I go on my bike ride or if I go golfing, I'm not asking anybody for business, right? Yeah. I mean, I'm not at that point. There's a time for asking for it, but there's also a time just to let people know who you are, right? You get business from church. Well, I'm not in there advertising in church, right? I mean, I'm there for my own, but at the same time, people see who you are and they can tell you're either authentic and you really care about helping people, and you do mortgages. I sell real estate, so I need somebody that does mortgages. It would be a good opportunity. Tell me about what it is that you do. most of them lead into me that way to where then I can explain, here's what I do. And then I'll explain it in a way that makes sense, right? And I always like to use analogies. You know, I sell mortgages. They're the same as if I was a poker player, and you notice you have the same people almost all the time at these professional poker tournaments at the final table. They're all playing with the same 52 cards, but you can be better than somebody else that's doing the same exact thing, even at the same company, right? So why would you want to work with me? Well, let me tell you why, right? Here's a list of the pre-approval letters that were denied that the person that you're working with now, you know, I got their name in there at a couple of them. I've never given out a pre-approval letter that hasn't closed, right? I do my work up front to make sure I know the guidelines and I see enough deals that I can understand what are these changes in guidelines, right? What is coming out today? Are we sitting in, just like I saw you guys today in our meeting with UWM and educating, right? Are you showing up and learning? It's not that I'm there because, you know, I want to just be social on a pointless Zoom. Those are there for a reason. We're learning, we're educating. I'm going to take that information now and share it with the people that can use my services, right? So Core 11 is a big one, Jay, to circle back to your question. I think it's good to have a set number. What are you looking to accomplish, right? You're looking to establish a referral-based business. What is your value proposition, right? What do you have that's different than everybody else, right? The same thing that I ask when we got 60 some different banks we're set up with. We have people come in all the time. Hey, we'd like you to set up with us. Well, why? You know, we have how many people with the same paper loans? It might be a difference of 70 cents here, 10,000 here, with pricing. We have enough to where even new banks, I ask them the same question that I would expect a realtor to ask me if I'm soliciting them for business. What's your value proposition? What are you going to do different than the 10 other people that reached out to me?
Yeah, that's good, man. Yeah, I want to, you're sharing a bunch of great nuggets. There's something that you said earlier when you mentioned, you know, at one point you kind of pivoted and you stopped chasing money and you started chasing helping people instead. And I want you to camp on that for a second, because I feel like that's something that a lot of people, like you said, they come into this business either as real estate agent or mortgage loan officer. There's this flashing lights of all this money you can make, right? But what you're talking about there, to me, speaks to the character of a person, right? And that's one of the things I've learned in this business is if you do it right, it can actually help improve your character. But talk about what that was like for you. What did you go through to where your character actually was able to embrace this mentality of, you know what, I'm going to go after helping people instead of actually chasing the dollars?
You know, a lot of it, and I kind of remember when this happened, a lot of it was, you know, there's times to where you have an appraisal that comes in short, right? Or you have a situation that you're stuck and the deal does not work, right? You can't get any more money from the client. You got a DTI that's a tad bit too high. You have to make a conscious decision, right? And that conscious decision is, am I going to help the client regardless if I get paid or not, right? To me, looking at that now, it's like, well, why wouldn't I, right? I mean, if I can, the majority of what our worth is, because we have no residual income, right? It's been the whole thing with this industry that's kind of, for me, when I was doing it 20 years ago, that's changed over these last 10 years, I've realized how important client acquisition is, right? Look at what these companies that we're competing against with, you know, even Quicken came out with their earnings and showed that they had a 91.5% retention rate, right? That's amazing. If you look at what you're building, right, what you're closing, you guys are both doing roughly, I don't know, 10 loans a month, right? And you look at what your retention rate is on that, but plus if you're actually doing building activities, there's zero question that you'll get to the same spot that I am. I just got a head start on you, right? I've been doing the same thing for quite a long time with the same company. But if you keep doing it and you have a good system in place, you're going to grow your business. The problem where I see a lot of people where you can have the right intention, like, great, do a deal for free, right? It doesn't matter. I'm helping the client. But there's a reason why I'm doing that too, right? Yes, I want to help the client, but B, I also have the system in place to where that's my client, right? I mean, they know my character, they know my integrity. I don't care about the money part of it. I want to help you. It doesn't mean on the next loan that they come to me, I'm gonna do it for free again too. I have a family to feed and bills to pay as well too. But in that particular situation, that was the option I was faced with. And when you see a lot of people, and I see it all the time, I had one of the guys that I'm mentoring right now that sits at my desk often. He's like, yeah, this deal doesn't work. Like, why doesn't it work? Well, you know, the appraisal came in short. It's now rate and term. She's at 3 1/8. The only way we can get this thing to work would be at 2 1/2, and it's at a cost of X. I said, so that deal doesn't work. There's no way you can see it to work, right? And it takes a while for people to understand that it works. It just doesn't work for you. You know, can it work? And do you have the flexibility to, if you need to do what's best and get it done for the client, but then to share that with the client, right? I'll be transparent. I had to do this for free, right? I don't think anybody else would do it. Maybe they would, but the reason I'm doing this is I want you to know that you're important to me. And I hope that you know how I treated you, that I'll treat somebody that you refer to me the same way. So a good way to pay me back from that aspect is if you could send me a referral from your friends or family members, that would be great, right?
I like that one.
How many people actually say it though, right? Yeah. Nobody. Even on the loans that you're making good money on, a lot of people just leave out a simple one-line statement. You know, I really appreciate you, because we have a ton of options, right? I mean, you literally could grab a stone and throw it from where any of us are at, probably hit 10 LOs in the head, right? I mean, it's crazy. We're getting suffocated right now with a bunch of LOs that basically do one deal a month. And it's like, what are you doing, right? But my point is, when you show that that's your character, they want to help you, right? Same reason why I came on today. I have a lot of stuff to do. I want to help you. Right? I don't have anything to really gain from it. Maybe I have no idea, but giver's gain to me is a big part. I want to help you. I want to see you succeed. Why is that? Truthfully, I don't know, but it's a mindset for me that I know if I help take care of others, God's going to take care of me, right? That's just my beliefs and how I've noticed. I think it was the book, The Secret, that I read, and then I watched it as a young man. I remember it stuck with me. And it's so hard to get out of self a lot of times that was something that really I don't know, help propel me to the next point. But then having the systems in place, if you do build a book of business, what systems do you have in place, right? Do you have, as a broker, where you have the right to run your business however you want, right? We're not going to tell you what to do. We're not going to put something in place for you. But what are you doing with that business? Right?
Yeah. And get into that a little bit, Tom. So your book of business has got to be pretty huge by this point, right? Doing that many loans for 20 years. So what do you do? Yeah. What do you do to keep in touch with those people and keep them as your clients? Is it automated? Is it one-off? Is it both?
Both, right? So I'll get a quick 10,000 foot overview on it, right? Just to make it simple. I got a CRM. I don't care what CRM you use. There's 100,000 of them there, all trying to take $200 a month from you. It doesn't matter what you're doing, right? MailChimp, Follow Up Giant. I use Be in Touch, right? I use Be in Touch. Literally, I joke around with it, but I use it like a Ford Escort, but it's a Ferrari, right? I mean, it's got so many functions, text, it has everything, but the simplicity of it is it touches my clients for me every now and then. The part that I do that I always get a great, I'll say, return on, I think the oldest rule in the book is your network is your net worth, right? If I close a client, I send them a Facebook friend request, right? I don't have anything to hide. I don't have any, you want to be friend. I like to know the people that I'm associated with. I'll send them a Facebook request. If I see, and I have a lot of my clients that I'm friends with now on social media, if I see something, they had a baby, there was a death in the family, I take the extra time and I send them something, right? I know they're having a baby. I'm sending them out a baby blanket that has the little kid's name on it, right? They love it. Right? Double-edged sword, right? You can't always act like you're trying to be such a great guy. I do it because A, they're going to really like it, but B, I'm going to get probably 100x return on that $100 blanket. You know what I mean? But a lot of times people will literally trip over quarters when there's hundreds in front of them. I can't spend $100 on that right now. I only closed 3 loans last month and I'm trying to spend $4,000 on leads. They will wait a minute. If you've been closing this much business, you got to book a business that's right for a relationship, right? If you're going to do relationship-based lending, you have to actually take an effort and create a relationship, right? So for me, social media has been a big part of that, right? I stay connected with people that way. My CRM does it automated to where that is really, I hate to even say that's doing much other than an occasional 2-3 times a year. They're seeing my name, Tom Ahles, right? Tom Mortgage. So if I'll get forwards from people that sent it to somebody else that said Happy Labor Day. And I'm like, Happy Labor Day? I'm looking at, they forwarded an email from me a long time ago to somebody else that was looking because I had my contact info. Why did they choose to do it that way? I have no idea. But the point is, that's why I have liked, I think it's key. If you're going to manage your own database, what are you doing to manage it, right? And how are you going to scale to where you can do that automated? It has to be automated, right? I don't have time to call, thousands of people every day. I still want to, I want to live life. I want to go ride my bike. I want to go do things that are fun and be social. I don't want to be on the phone nonstop, but social media does a great job for that. Video does a great job for it. I can create a video on loan anniversaries or different steps. There's a lot of automation that can come in. I'm still, I would say, infant stages on learning a lot of what can be done that way. But the biggest thing that I would say, circling back to what you asked, how do you go from doing 5 loans a month to 10 to 20, right? It's simple. You need more referral partners, right? And how do you get them? Well, identify your value proposition and do something different, right? Show them what your value proposition is and then stand on those core beliefs, right? This is what you can expect out of me always. And send them a video on a Friday night and let them know, hey, if you run into anybody, I'm available. Here's my cell phone or the link to my application if you want to send them there, right? Quick touch. Stay top of mind.
That's good.
Love it.
It's good, man. Yeah, so man, it feels like time's flying on us. I know we got to get you out of here in like 8 minutes. But,
yeah.
I guess 40. The last question for you, Tom. And if anybody is watching and has any questions you want to squeeze them in, you can leave them in the chat. But we talked about Edge. All 3 of us are part of Edge, and there might be some people watching that we've talked to about potentially joining Edge as a loan officer and jumping into the broker world. So touch on that a little bit. What's the benefits of our group with Edge as a broker and just what the broker world is like in that regard?
Yeah. So, I mean, I went over a little for me. If we just talk about, there's 2 parts of your question, in my opinion. 1, what is the advantage of being a broker, right? And 2, what is an advantage of being a broker with Edge, right? So I think the first question on what is the advantage of being a broker, we kind of covered that a little bit when I stated why I made my initial move from Waterstone, where I was working as a bank LO, to working as a broker. Having the flexibility, having the control, having a lot of the things that they try to say we don't have, right? I do have, right? I have a control where that was a big part of it for me. If I would, looking back on it, then I've had offers from banks that have been somewhat entertaining from a monetary point of view, but then I remember how I run my business and I'm like, that wouldn't work, right? So that I think I covered. The second one with why Edge, right? I think is I'm pretty how do I say this? It's such a simple decision for me because we're all selling money, right? If we're all selling money and we're selling it with a company that sells it as cheap as what it can be from any company. We've got Diamond Elite status with UWM. We're number 4 in the nation right now as far as a company goes. To where if you're going to get on the whole side of business, there isn't a better model, in my opinion, than what we have, right? We do our profit sharing model that we've been doing now for about 9 years. Most importantly, from a leadership perspective, what you have business owners that run our company that are truly, they're Chris and Chantel with what they do on their part, make our job so easy to where somebody like me that can, I want to write, 100 loans a month, right? That's been my goal this year, is I want to get to the point where I'm at 100. I can't do that and then try to think about, I need this state and I have to go through this audit and this. The stuff that I had to do as a business owner compared to an originator was so much harder. I would never want to go back into doing that, where Edge gives you the opportunity, in my opinion, to operate like a franchisee, right? You're going to pay a simple per file fee, and you're going to run your business. We're going to make sure that you're doing it ethically and legally and all of the things that need to be done for you to get it done. Never going to have to worry about being paid when you're supposed to be paid. You have all of the main benefits that you would from a main bank, as far as we have 401k, we have health insurance. There isn't, in my opinion, a better place to be an originator than being with a broker. Then it comes to the next step. Well, there's other brokers out there. What sets you apart? Right back to the beginning of what I've done for my own business. What's the value proposition, right? What's the value proposition that Edge offers? Well, it's real simple, in my opinion. We allow you to run your business however you wish, as long as it's legal, and we have the ability to help and assist with that. But we're real clear on what you're being paid. And we take a very, very small percentage. Right? If we did not start this company to where myself and Chantel were on the front lines, we probably wouldn't have grown to the size we are, because what we did, we've hired people that we like, right? And this is how our company's grown over time. I said, Zoe, man, you do a good job originating. I like what you do. My operational costs, I'll charge you $1,000 a file, right? You bring anybody else on, we'll give you $500 of it. It's almost like a gift, right? It's so little for all of the stuff that gets done. If you've ever tried to open up and run a mortgage company, we allow you to do sell loans, receive the lion's share of the money, but have an awesome accounting team to make sure that everything is taken care of from a legal aspect, from a compliance aspect, from an educational standpoint. And what I also find, to be big for all of us is even from a profit sharing standpoint, residuals, right? If you brought in 10 people and you worked at a bank, and what do they give you? You're going to get $1,000 hiring bonus, right? We split our revenue with whoever you bring on. So, if the company makes 500, you make 500, right, on a transaction, but that's it. So we've got a couple of things that I think are important with that value proposition. Transparency, right? I've talked to so many other brokers that have either come from other companies or have spoke to other companies. I don't even really understand how I'm getting paid. I'm like, well, what do you mean you don't understand how you're getting paid? It's hard to compare apples to apples when they don't know. Well, all of a sudden I got hit for some sort of mentoring fee or a technology fee, or like some of this stuff to where, that's not transparency, right? We're right back to the money grab aspect, where for us, we really want quality, right? We want guys like Zoe and Jay who are out there, walking the walk and talking the talk, but doing it with integrity, right? That are closing enough loans to where it makes sense for us to tie our reputation to you and you to us, right? And it's a commitment that's longer than just a boom, right? I've been doing this for 20 years and I'm not going anywhere. And it's a career for me. I'm not going to switch and go to a bank. I'm not going to switch and go to a different company. I have everything that I need here, to where the one thing that hurts originators more than anything, switching jobs all the time, right? You see it to where it's like, I look it up when I interview people. You've had 14 employers in the last 3 years. What's going on? It tends to be, and I'll take it out of Ishbia's playbook, right? Let's look at the thumb pointer on it, man. What's going on? Why it didn't work for you, right? You're always somebody else. And if I notice a mentality that way, to where somebody's got a problem with everybody else,
yeah,
we don't need it, right? I mean, we're not chasing the buck. We're trying to build with quality and people that have the same like-mindedness, that understand the value of what we offer, and sharing the lion's share of what's being made, because you're the one doing the lion's share of work. We're giving you access to the system the same as everybody else is, set up with the same banks, but we negotiate the best pricing across the country. There's really not a better place for an originator to work than Edge, which is, not only why I've been here since day one, but why I'm not going anywhere, right? I mean, even for me, if I looked, and you guys, you get to the point to where you're closing 50 loans you start doing the math on it, and maybe I could open my own business. Try it, right? We've never stopped anybody. Sit in one of those audits, right? Go through the call reports and realize how much of your time is spent on things that don't make money. So we give originators the ability to have the entrepreneurial mindset to run their own business. We charge a small amount to take care of everything else, to where, to me, there isn't anything better that I could ask for in originating, to where I'm making the most amount, offering the best rates to my clients, have great ratings through, Better Business Bureau, and most importantly, our LOs. We got 300 LOs, and I don't know if any of them can really say anything bad about the leadership that we have within our company, because for the most part, our value proposition is simple. We want to see you do well, right? We're not worried about you doing well so we can do well. We're already doing well, we're bringing on so you can do well. So how can we help you? What do you need help with? That's why with the profit sharing, it allows you to be a mentor, right? You can only grow so big unless you have a lot of mentors. And we're trying to make sure we have the right people in to be good mentors, and they can create mentors. And then we're not cutting them off and saying, well, you're not, you can't do what this person did. No, we extend it to the same. It's not a multi-level marketing. It's real simple. You bring somebody in and mentor them, we'll pay you 50% of what the company makes. And in my opinion, there isn't another platform out there that provides that transparency with the size and reputation that we have.
Awesome.
Love it, man.
Great stuff, man. Well, hey, it's at your 50-minute mark, so you got to go do your bike ride. But hey, we really appreciate having you, Tom. Amazing stuff. For those of you that didn't get a chance to throw in any questions in the chat, we're going to post it. And so feel free to put it in the Facebook group. And Tom's part of the Facebook group as well. He can answer any questions that come up. But yeah, awesome time, man. We really appreciate having you, Tom. Thanks so much for sharing.
Man, absolutely. I'll just say one thing. Do it this weekend. Try those videos, right?
Yeah.
You're out there. Literally set it up. Take a quick 30-second video. Hey, wanted to let you know I'm available this weekend. You would be surprised. Nobody else is doing the things that make that little difference. You know what I mean?
Yep.
That's what separates you, right?
Definitely.
Grow a mustache first and make sure you're married.
I'm counting down. T-minus 8 hours on me. I might even stay up till midnight to get rid of this thing. Appreciate your guys' hustle and truly the authenticity that you guys offer and what you do. You motivate me. We couldn't be, for me personally, I couldn't be happy to have counterparts like you guys to work with and bounce things off of. You not only do it, but you're doing it as well, right? You're buying properties, you're investing. You have so many skill sets that you can help people that, keep it up.
Yes, sir. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. It means a lot.
Yeah, sure does. Cool. Well, thanks, everybody. Thanks for everyone tuning in. And until next time, everybody take care and God bless.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks.